Hey guys, so today we are going to be putting on casters. So I actually have to redo these because they are way too big. I wanted this workbench to be level with my table saw. So once I put these on, they actually became way too tall. So I'm going to take these off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them here instead. That way it's a little bit recessed and it will not be as high as these. Alright guys, now that the casters are off, it's time to measure the height of my table saw, the height of my workbench, and the height of my casters. That way I can figure out what thickness of wood I need in order to get the exact height to match my table saw and my workbench. Let's get to it. So I wanted to show you guys the best way I found to measure these. I couldn't go straight up and down because there's a little lip here that actually goes up about 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch. So I couldn't even measure like this because I was short this whole lip. So the best way I have found is put it up against a flat surface. That way I can find the top of the wheel and measure straight down, and I hope you guys can see this. So it's just at 5 inches. The other casters, we can do the same thing too. Put it up against it, spin this around the best way we can, and measure it like so. So you can tell that 2 of my casters are a different height than the other 2. Alright, time for everyone's worst part, the math. My table saw is 3 feet, which is 36 inches. My workbench from the legs protruding to the top is 32 inches. So in general, I need to add 4 inches to the workbench. But if we go down here, where I'm thinking of putting the casters, they're all different. Well, almost. The right one and this top left one, the distance from the inside of my table to the legs is 3 inches. So if I put the caster right here, this caster, the 5-inch caster, if I put it right here, I would still only get 2 inches on the workbench because it's 3 inches from the inside to the leg, and my caster is 5. So now it's time to figure out what size wood I need here, and here, and here, and here to give me 4+ inches. Let's do it. Alright, just to add to more complicatedness, I just found this stud in our burn pile. And if you see our type 1 caster, the one that is 4 6/8 high, could fit right on it. That's perfect. I've got plenty of room to do some screws right in here. But if you go to my 5-inch caster, that is not going to work. I'm overhanging on one of the sides no matter which area I put it on. And it's even worse, obviously, if I go that way. So, not only do we have to have different heights of woods, but we also have to have different width, thickness, and the length has to be different. Alright, I just wanted to show you guys the math that I just did. So, what I did was, this is each corner of my workbench on the side. So I know that this is 3 inches, that is 3 inches. This is 2 3/4, and this is 2 3/4. So what I did was I converted 2 3/4 to the fraction of 11/4, and then I converted, because I need to add 4 inches, I converted 4 inches into 16/4. Then I can add the 11/4, which is 2 3/4, plus 16/4, which is my 4 inches, to get 27/4. 27/4 is the same as 6 3/4. And I did the same thing on the other side because they're the same. Now on the corners that were 3 inches, all I had to do was add 3 plus 4. So on each corner, I need 7 inches here. I need 6 3/4 here. I need 7 inches here. And I need 6 3/4 here. Now the second step I am going to do is to figure out which of my casters do I want where. Do I want my 6 3/4 to be the 5-inch casters, or do I want 5-inch casters on this side and my 4 6/8 caster on this side? Alright guys, here's the math that I did to try to figure out which would be best for which caster. So what I did was, this area is my 5-inch caster hypothesis, I guess. So for 1 is always going to be the side that I need 7 inches plus on. So this corner and that corner are going to be 1. So if I have my 5-inch casters on the side where I need 7 inches, that means the wood that needs to extend from underneath needs to be 2 inches. But if I have my 5-inch casters on the sides that I need 6 3/4 on, I need 1 3/4 wood. What I did was I converted the 6 3/4 back to the 27/4, and then the 20/4 is the 5 inches. So I do what I need minus the caster height, and this is the conversion that I get, 1 3/4. But now if I go to this side, this is my hypothesis for the smaller casters, the casters that are only 4 6/8. So what I did was, number 1, like I said, is always going to be the side where I need 7 inches. So I did my 7 inches, and I converted it to a fraction of 8. So 56/8 is 7 inches. So I did 56/8 minus my caster length is 4 6/8. So what I did was I converted that to the fraction. So I did the height that I need minus my caster height. This is the conversion, and this is the actual height in inches. So if I put my 4 6/8 caster on the height where I need 7 inches, which is the left front and the back right, I need 2 1/4 inch board thickness. But if I put my 4 6/8 caster on the lower side, the side where I need 6 3/4 instead of 7, I only need 2 inches. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put my smaller casters on the side that is 6 3/4, and I'm going to put my bigger casters on the side that I need 7 inches. So that way I only need 2-inch boards on all 4 corners. Alright, I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about how important it is to get the right size screw for your project. So these are 2 3/4. This is a 1.5 piece board, and this is a 1/2 inch. All together I'm making 2. I don't have a planer, and I don't have 2-inch thick boards. So I'm going to use this as a spacer, and we're going to screw in this way to here. So I grabbed 2 3/4 screw. Ideally I want probably 3-inch screws, but the only thing I have is 4-inch screws, and those are way too big. I don't want to I don't want to split the wood going halfway through this. So I think this is going to be fine, because we're also going to be putting pressure on it from upward. So it's going to look like this. So I'm going to screw in this way, and because it's going to be on the back side anyways, pushing up, I'm not really worried about the screws being too short. The other thing I want to talk about is how important it is to pre-drill. So these are drill bits with countersink bits in here, or on top of here I guess. And the idea is just to get it deep enough that it goes through both boards. well, we're going to be going from this way. So I need to move this up some, and the size really depends on your type of screw. This is a 10, and this is a 1/4 thick screw. And if you look, I don't know if you'll be able to see that very well, they are really close to being the same. You don't want this to be too big, or else the grips on your screw aren't going to catch on the wood and it's just going to pull right out. But on the contrary, if you get something too small, you still have a pretty high chance of splitting the wood. Here is the finished project. Turned out awesome. I'm very happy with it. We'll see what it looks like when we stand it up. And for the casters themselves, I have washer screws. So I didn't actually put a washer on them, but if your screw head is too big for the hole, just slip a washer on there and then you'll be good to go. I'll take some pictures of the final project, but overall, I'm very happy with it.